Today, we're gonna see if I can keep this brand new polo t-shirt nice and white while making sure we get the Hellcat running right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Koozie Time YouTube channel. In today's video, I get to learn how to put on brand new belts on the Hellcat while attempting to see that I don't get my brand new t-shirt nice and dirty.
It'll be dirty in about 5 minutes.
I put that up on Snapchat and I said $5 if y'all think I can make it through the day without getting it dirty. Here we are, almost 4 o'clock, and I failed, so whatever. Now for those of you wondering why we're putting new belts on the Hellcat, well, I'll tell you why. In last week's video, we talked about how I'm gonna have the Hellcat out and about. We're gonna use it more, but before we use it, we gotta make sure it's looking right, making sure it's running right. Now, part of that comes down to the belts, the fluids, you name it, whatever, just the general maintenance of things. Now, while I'm looking over the car and thinking about what can I make sure is good before I take it out and beat the crap out of it. Now, as I'm looking, bring it on in, I'll show you. I'm paying attention to all the gizmos and gadgets and whatever's under here. Now, check it out. I got one of these belts because if you notice right here, this one, while it is green, compare it to this new one, it's a little old, it's a little dirty. Now I get on the internet and I started to do some Googling, started to do some searching to see what is that for, how does that work, why is this belt dirty, and why is it not so green, even though it's supposed to be nice and bright, kind of like this one. Well, apparently, as these belts are spinning, doing their job, getting the horsepower out and about, they're getting used and dirty, kind of like this. Now I learned that the supercharger belt, kind of like this one, apparently these, you're supposed to replace them every 25,000 miles if you're really good about your maintenance. But you shouldn't let them go too long without having them changed. I read on the internet, some people never change their belts and they never have a problem. Some people get 10,000 miles and they blow, so. But the rule of thumb is 20,000 for the supercharger belt, and I figure while we're in here doing this part, we might as well do this one right here. Now this isn't green, this isn't anywhere near as big because it's not a supercharger belt, it's the serpentine belt, which happens to sit, if you notice, can't see it as well, but it sits right in here behind the supercharger belt, and I figured if I'm doing that one, might as well do that one too, because that one as well, this one has to be replaced every 50,000 miles or so. Whose phone is that?
Mine.
Your mother. Oh, hello, sugar.
Hi, hon. Did I answer Lily's question that she had?
No.
Sorry about that, folks. You know how it goes in mother-in-laws and stuff. All right, now I'm like the supercharger belt. Rule of thumb for it is every 20,000 if you're a good little noodle when it comes to maintenance. With the serpentine belt, the rule of thumb is every 50,000. Now, being that this car has over 50,000 miles, but not quite 60, don't think it's too abused. It has about 58,000 miles, and I have no clue if either of these belts have ever been changed. I know for a fact this one has, because this being a 15, it being the 707 Hellcat, not a 17, not the 717 cars like the newer Hellcats. I know that this belt has been replaced with the Gates belt because it's got a lower pulley, so I know that one has been done, but this serpentine belt, I have no clue. So we're gonna replace both of them just to be safe. Now for those of you that think I'm just putting on new belts for nothing, all right, I'm not doing this for nothing, that would be dumber than shit. Now the reason I'm putting new belts on is one, I don't know when they've been changed, and two, I've noticed in some of my videos, whenever I rev the cat at high RPMs, the start of when I'm revving it, I hear this really firm squeak. And I only think it's a belt squeak. I hope it's not a tensioner, a pulley, or anything else. I'm hoping it's just a belt. Any of you car folks out there probably recognize belt squeak if you've ever heard it.
Hey guys, Chris Fix here.
It's not hard to miss. So needless to say, we're taking the easy way out of this. First, we're gonna hope and pray it's just a belt problem. Maybe that's it. If it's anything more than a belt problem, that's actually the dealership's problem and not mine, because I'm not fixing nothing inside the motor. Because with my luck, if I try to do something internally, it's just not gonna be good, given my track record of breaking stuff. Can you imagine if I broke the cat? That'd be sad as hell. I wouldn't know what to do. All right, let's get into it. Check it out. Look, the install is not too hard if you take the intake off. Now the intake, if you notice right here, got one plug, two plug, one, two, something like that. 1, 2, or 3 little nuts to hold the shield, one to hold the intake, a hose clamp, and that's about it. Let's try and keep this simple install a simple install. We're gonna set a timer because I've been seeing on the internet this install, it's like a 5-minute job, so they say. If I can keep it under an hour, I call that a success. Don't look at me like that, we're gonna hope and pray this time. Now something I learned the hard way when I decided to change the belts on this car is that if you wanna get one of these, one of the green belts, whatever it may be, Gates brand specifically, you can't find it at frickin' O'Reilly's, they didn't have it, AutoZone didn't have it, and I don't think Advance had it. I had to go to frickin' CarQuest. Not to say O'Reilly's failed me today, but they kinda did on this one. So CarQuest, I appreciate you folks. Both belts is only $100, not a big deal. One clip, get off there. Yeah, uno. Oh yeah, I already took this one off because I didn't know how to take it off earlier. But you grab this part right about here, turn it sideways so you can squeeze the front and the back, because this one, get out of here, dust, jeez. This one's a squeeze, if you can get it. It pulls right off, just like so. Now, something I didn't know at first is that for this particular sheet, yes.
You tell him. You tell him. Are you telling him? Are you telling him? You are.
Say, Mopar or no car, brother? Yes. All right.
Good job.
Now, something I didn't notice at first is when you take off this particular shield for this particular intake, you got one, we're gonna call it a bolt, you got one here and one here. That happens to be sitting under this, and I don't wanna break it trying to do this job, so we're gonna take off every single one of these little clips that go all the way across. Not only is Cooper eating food now, he's also singing. You hear this? 4 months old, he's already going places. Now, of course, it wasn't until after I removed every last one of these clips to take out this individual piece why I learned that I don't really know how to take it out. So I managed to get this one piece out of there, and I didn't hurt nothing, I didn't scratch nothing, so I call that a win. It was such a process that if I tried to record that, it would have just swallowed up every bit of recording time I had. Okay. Shugaboo! Check that out, folks. If any of you are wondering what brand of intake I even have on the Fat Cat, I'm pretty sure it's a B Woody intake, because they're about the only brand that has one set up that looks like this. Sometimes I remember I do have power tools. Good enough. All right. Come on out of there, beautiful. Swallow. Now, I tell y'all what, I don't know why the previous owner went with this particular intake, but I will say, I probably wouldn't have gone with this myself.
You would have wanted it.
I would not have. Personally, doesn't look very good. Whatever green filter made in the USA is, who knows? B Woody intakes are usually blue. Sometimes I think they're yellow, I'm not sure. But I know replacement filters are green. That's how I come to figure this was a B Woody intake. I didn't put it on, it came like that. She's snug. Oh my goodness. Well, there it goes, just like that. All right, not too bad. Once you know how to do it, that is. Once you know how to do the job's not so hard. It was just a little finicky because of this one part, but other than that, the intake is not too hard to take off. Now that we got the intake out of the way, I can see what they mean by you have better access to the serpentine belt. Now as I look at the serpentine belt, I'll have to put a picture of it up so y'all can see it better because the camera's not gonna pick this up. I'm looking at it right now, that thing is cracked all to hell. Unless it's normally like that and I'm just new to the game. Definitely looks a little worn down. Not too big a deal if I got both of them. That was the whole point, is you never know. Might as well do both since they're both there. Oh, by the way, t-shirt didn't make the cut, sorry.
You gave up.
That's because I gave up. I'm over here trying to like not touch it so much. I said, you know, the hell with this. Tired of this, Grandpa. I'm tired of this white t-shirt business. All right, now what you do is take your breaker bar, take you a 3/8 ratchet if you can reach it, and it goes in this guy right here. See about where my finger is? Right about the bottom of, yeah, right in there. Goes in there, you pull it to one side, the belt pops right off. Ha-ha, just like that.
Okay, that was simple.
Huh?
That was simple.
Heck yeah, it was simple.
Why can't the rest of us be like that?
Well, aside from the intake, come on, you hooker. All right, check that out. Now what we can do before we get all crazy with this install of the new one is compare it to the new one and see if it is the right size, because you never know. Looks about the same to me. Now that we have the belt off, and I told you I couldn't quite show you because I had no good angle and the camera wouldn't pick it up. Where was that one spot at? Yeah, I don't know if y'all can see this. Come here, sugar. It's starting to crack all along there, dude. Just not too good. Whereas this one, Brandon.
Now you're gonna have fun trying to get this on.
And then of course, for the supercharger belt, you gotta get you a 15. You gotta crank it that way and it comes right off. Almost like the other belt. We get a good grip on it. Just like, oh. Okay, got it kind of off. All right, don't know if that last clip caught that, but what happened was I had the wrench on there. I had it going, whichever way I had it going. Had the belt, pulled the belt off, went to release on this guy, and guess what? I guess not having the belt on there, it decided it was gonna go, instead of sit right about here, it's gonna go somewhere over there. And well, that was too far for me. So what I'm gonna do is try again with it a little more upright, so when it releases, it goes not so far, and crush my fingers.
Just go right from there.
Come on now. Get off the first part at least. Okay. Woo. Harder than the other one, I'll tell you that much. Okay, got the old one off. Check it out. It was a green belt. Now it's almost Christmas tree green. Not good. Now, like the other one, we're gonna take this one out of the packaging. Totally hit the Honda. See if it fits the same. And yeah, it looks about the same. Okay. This is gonna be sick nasty, dude. It's gonna look like a real red eye. It's not gonna look like a regular Hellcat, although it kinda didn't before. Now, for the sake of keeping it easy, I'm gonna fit it over every other pulley and whatnot, except for the one tensioner you have to lift up on, and then we're gonna tighten it up. Hopefully it goes smoothly. Now for the part of this install that y'all can't see, down in the bottom area, I'm gonna put one of these pictures up right about here. As y'all can see, we have this diagram in silver and yellow. The number 2 shows the belt, number 1 shows, I believe, is a tensioner. Number 2 is the part coming off. If this shows you how I'm pulling it off. For any of you wondering how it goes on and where it's supposed to sit. Nevertheless, we're gonna get the green belt put on first, and then the serpentine belt, and then I can maybe not lose my mind today.
You already have.
I've already lost my mind 3 times trying to do this job. For some reason, every time I work on the Hellcat, something about the job is just the slightest bit finicky. Don't know why. Whether it be a 9-year-old car, or maybe it's because it had 1 or 2 previous owners that weren't that good to the car. Who knows? What do you think, Cooper? What's your honest opinion today, brother? Give it up.
Say, I'm on your camera, Dad.
Cooper, what do you think of the Hellcat, buddy? You like the Hellcat? No?
You like the Hellcat?
Yes? Please say yes.
Do you like the Hellcat?
All right, after attempting to put on the new belt for like 20 minutes, rubbing my arm raw just about on the fan shroud, I found out somehow, I think it was because of my wife, if I'm being honest, we didn't think to check the size on these belts, and I don't know if this is my fault or if it was CarQuest's fault for selling me, that's not really loud, for selling me the wrong belt. Somehow, the new belt is too small. Check it out. If you can see, the old one is definitely bigger, okay? If you can't tell, it just is, all right? Now, even 1 size belt, maybe even 2 sizes, somehow is drastically too much. So that means we get to pick this up tomorrow. Not like I want to, we kind of have to. All right, folks, if you couldn't tell by the fact that I'm in a different t-shirt and it's dirty as hell, it's the next day, all right? Check it out. Look, the Hellcat, to begin with, all right? We had tried to put on some belts. Come to find, the belts were not correct. We had picked up the wrong size somehow. I guess according to CarQuest, they thought I was working with a stock Hellcat. I didn't specify that it's not stock, so I guess that's my fault, not a big deal. So I go back to CarQuest at like 9 o'clock this morning, and within like 2 hours, they had the replacement belt delivered from somewhere, I don't know. 2 hours time to get the belts I needed. Not bad though. Now I knew this process was still gonna be kind of a pain in the ass. So I went ahead and put them on myself. Well, let me not say myself. Me and, hold on, the help of my sweetheart Lily. Thank you so much. Cooper, we gotta thank you as well for your moral support, buddy. But nevertheless, we got the car done. The belts are installed. Everything looks like it's gonna work just fine. Y'all stay tuned for next week's video, or maybe the one after that. We take the fat cat out, do some screaming, do some beating, who knows. But I guess that about wraps it up for this project. And that is gonna wrap it up for this video. If you enjoyed watching, be sure to hit that like button. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on any of the great videos that we put up every week. And as always, we thank you oh so much for watching. Be sure to stay tuned for next week's video.
Peace.
Say bye, Cooper.